Bush League Podcast. A show about nothing and everything.
All right then.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We should always be recording 10 seconds earlier than we actually record.
It always happens.
I hate saying anything. So,
Yeah, me too.
because I'm like, we're going to miss something.
Unreal.
We were just commenting on it. Cameron's touched by an angel lighting.
Yes.
Makes him look like an angelic.
Yes, it's quite the light. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy. I haven't had a light. I haven't had a ceiling light in the man cave probably for the last 5 months. Because the bulbs were those ones that have like 2 prongs on them, and it just like, and of course you had to take it all apart to get to it. And one went. I was like, well, I only need one. It's the man cave. And then another one went, and I'm like, I really just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, but I had those when we were on Century Drive. All those track lights were those stupid bulbs.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, you'd end up with a finicky one. And you know it was your fault because you twisted it a little bit too far, but now they don't want to stay in.
Yeah.
And
No.
never want to see them again.
No.
Yeah.
So I just replaced.
So rather than replacing the bulbs, you just replaced the whole fixture?
Well, it was.
Heck yeah.
It was too dim in here anyway, and I just needed a brighter light. So we went and got a light at the Home Depot, and it's got a whole bunch of different modes, and it's I like it.
Romance mode.
Romance. You ask for it, you get it.
Eat some Kenny
Not
G.
what your shirt says.
Now I
Brought
don't know
it
how
back.
now I don't know how to bring it back. There it goes. All right, comes with the remote.
Need that sax, the Kenny G saxophone.
Jazz flute.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before we get started, boys, I'd like you all to hand me over your cell phone so I could have a look at what you have on there.
You took my. That was gonna be my joke too. I was gonna break into it just like that and be like, "All right, guys, I just have an exercise here for us to all get to know each other better. We'll just hold up our phones and then we'll go through the pictures." So,
Oh wait, mine's not even on.
oh, there you go. There you go.
My picture of Seb.
Your picture of Seb. Nice.
Oh, yeah, not my kids. Sebastian Vettel.
Well, I got Mario Andretti from like 1982.
There you go.
Oh boy, I'm no better. I have Nathan McKinnon, Joe Sakic, and Peter Forsberg.
Yep.
Our priorities are strict.
I have a 4-year-old picture of my kids.
Well
Way to go,
played.
Gary.
Well played.
Way to go, Gary. Good
Way
dad.
to make
Gary.
us all
Gary for the win.
Yeah, Gary for the win.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the one guy.
Just because I'm lazy for the most part, because there's been 200 pictures of them since this one.
Well, I guess like at work, my cubicle at work, I have a picture of me and Trish and Gabe. I think Gabe is like 1, like holding him. I think he's less than 1. He's like, I've had it for like 4.5 years. I've never changed it. It's like
buddy.
the only picture I have.
My desk at work, Mikhail's like 8 in the picture. Maddox is 5. Mikhail's in high school now.
Yeah.
He goes there. That's the picture on my desk.
He'd be so happy. He'd be like, Dad, could you like get rid of that?
That's right. Yeah. So I said to the boys, I said we were going to do some Babcock bashing, and it's not really funny. However,
Some what?
Babcock bashing.
Oh, okay.
If the first part of that cut out, okay, yeah, But
I'm not shy.
Took me 41 episodes to bring it up.
Tyson, this is awkward, but we need to have a talk. Frick's sakes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's not particularly funny. However, I just thought it was way too interesting to kind of pass over it. So I get it. Everyone's not a hockey fan, but head coach in the NHL was fired. What was it, 4 years ago from the Leafs? Was it 4 years? 3? Something like that?
4-ish, Gary?
Yeah.
3.5, 4.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yeah. So he was fired from the Leafs for some pretty like controversial coaching tactics. Things like making one of your best rookie players rank the work ethic of all of his teammates, talk to him privately about it, and then go take the list from him. And then the next time you're in the dressing room with the whole team, say, so this is where Mitch Marner thinks you rank in order of work ethic. So
call him right
Call
out.
him right out. Said it in front of everybody. Marner, cried.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him. It's a pretty terrible thing to do. That's just one thing.
It would have been just simpler just to take him in the back and beat him with a bunch of hockey sticks.
Yeah,
Yep.
So there's coaching jobs, Cam, if you want to apply.
Those who can't do, gentlemen. Those who can't do.
Hey.
Older.
Yeah.
So
Touche.
So anyway, so he's had some other kind of not necessarily terrible things, but he's just not a great guy. So like Mike Modano, 1,499 games. It's his last game that they're going to play. So he's retiring at the end of the season. Has his last game to play to hit 1,500. Healthy scratch. So he ends his career at 1,499 games played. So this is the type of guy he is. So anyways, he had this hiatus from hockey. So the Columbus Blue Jackets announced on July 1st when the hockey season, the next season officially starts, that they've hired Mike Babcock as the head coach.
I was pretty surprised, but I was surprised in that there was a lot of stuff we heard, especially as Leaf fans, with his last stint, and then you heard stuff with the Red Wings, and you heard stuff, but none of it was ever confirmed or said, or no one had a cell phone in the dressing room, or the boys don't rat on each other, right?
Exactly.
So they just don't say anything, and they want it to stay in there, but where there's smoke, there's fire, and you're hearing all these things, and then...
Yeah, exactly.
So it kind of perked everybody up when they heard when he got hired, but...
Yeah, that's right. And there was story, like you say, it's like where there's smoke, there's fire. It's like, that's only the incidents we heard about. A person like that, you can guarantee that 90% of it you don't even know about.
You've only seen the top of the iceberg.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
took the words right out of my mouth, Cam. Yep.
Yeah. So people think like, okay, well, if Columbus is going to hire him, he must have proven some way that he's changed his ways over the last 3 years. Maybe he's really turned a corner, give him a second chance, whatever. We didn't even make it to training camp. And he's fired.
We've literally not made... Well, he resigned.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he resigned.
So did Nixon, but he was still guilty.
So the story is, without going into too much details, because I get it, not everyone's hockey fans, but so we're like training camp, I think literally starts tomorrow. I think today is like media day. And last week, Spit and Chicklets podcast, the hockey podcast, there are a couple of ex-players, and they had gotten some text messages from a certain player that Mike, you might want to talk about this story of Mike Babcock looking at people's phones. And Paul Bissonnette, who's one of the podcast hosts, was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean?" So he's like, "Oh, he does this thing where, like, when he meets you for the first time, he like asks to see your phone, and he goes through your phone to see what kind of a person you are, I guess." So they were like, "What?" So they sort of, right? So they real power trip sound and stuff. So they start asking around, and like it's like they uncover like this whole thing. It's like all of a sudden all these players are confirming like, "Oh yeah, I know this is something he does," and it's. It's like,
and he airplayed somebody's phone for everyone to see.
Yeah. So his thing is, he had some meetings, his first meetings with the Blue Jackets, has some players over to his office to talk to them and meet them. So one of the players that released a statement about it was Boone Jenner. He's a senior player, a veteran player. And he released a statement saying, yeah, I went in and, we talked about each other's families. I showed him pictures of my family. He showed me pictures of his. And you're like, okay, Johnny Gaudreau kind of came out, another guy, big, long contract. He's like, yeah, we, showed some pictures of each other's family. No big deal, right? So you're like, okay, whatever. So anyways, good on the NHLPA because they followed up on this and showed up to have some interviews with some players on the Blue Jackets. And basically by Sunday, it kind of started coming out like, hang on a second here. We're getting some, testimonies from the younger players who were not okay or comfortable at all with what happened. And so come to find out that, the younger players, you think of it, right? You're just getting in the league. You're nervous. You don't want to rock the boat and all this.
Yeah. Rookie.
Right, exactly. So
you're trying to earn your spot. You're not saying a stinking word.
So
no way.
Let's say you just get drafted. What are you going to do? Get in a big fight with your head coach? Like, you know what I mean? You're going to keep quiet. You're going to just not. So the story goes that with those guys, that's where he had, I think some of them came in his office. He hooks up your phone to AirPlay, has a TV in his office, and starts like scrolling through your phone to see what kind of a person you are. And you imagine, right? Kids coming in just from the summer. I understand they're hockey players, they're athletes, but I mean, they're having a great...
Well, who knows what an 18, 19-year-old single guy has on his phone.
Exactly.
Just being real.
Oh, 100%, And so, yeah, it's an invasion of privacy.
Just a little bit. It breaks all kinds of HR rules, I'm pretty sure.
So did you hear the rumor of he had one of these rookies trying to make the team to his house for dinner?
Yes. Well, you want to tell that?
You go right ahead. You're doing a great job, buddy.
I dove right into this because it was just, I just
Jeremy Duffy over here has got the scoop. He's giving us the whole.
Well, like you realize this guy's like a sociopath. Like it's like crazy.
That's what it feels like.
Stuff. So apparently that story that you're referring to, so that wasn't necessarily a Blue Jackets player, but it was a previous team he was on. So this goes into the whole like other stuff went on we'll never probably hear about. So,
when you pick that wall,
I guarantee you're not going to hear about it.
Chip at that wall. Once you get the one stone out, the rest are going to come.
Like you say, there's smoke, there's fire. So this was confirmed, unofficially to the Spit and Chicklets guys that at one point he had a young player over to his house, invites him over for lunch. The player comes over. They sit down. Babcock just asks for his phone, just asks him for it, takes his phone, goes through it, apparently spent several minutes. Who the heck even knows what he's looking at? Maybe texts, whatever. Whatever he saw in there, he got upset and asked the guy to leave before they even had lunch.
Before they had lunch.
So, like, the guy is just, like, very,
he's
like...
a nut?
Oh, yeah. He's very, like, predatory, very, like, narcissistic, power trip kind of stuff. And so, anyways... I guess there's other stories, but you can Google it, whatever. There's lots of stuff out there on him. So this all comes to light, and that's, I think it was it Sunday night? I think it was. There was a statement released by the Blue Jackets and by Babcock. This part kind of threw me a little bit, but his statement was he agreed to step down to not be a distraction for the team for the upcoming season.
The head coach not to be a distraction for a season.
Right.
Well, he was still acting. This is how narcissistic he is.
Yes.
He's still acting like he didn't do anything wrong.
Yes.
Like, if this is such a big distraction, then I'll step down.
Exactly. Made it seem
he's
like,
not taking any ownership over the crap that he pulled.
Wow.
Which is a way of gaslighting you to say, like, okay, I get it. You guys have a problem with this, so I'll go away, whatever.
Your problem, not my problem.
Don't know what your guy's issue is, but
yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Right? So, but then the thing that kind of, messed me up a little bit was the Blue Jackets statement was saying that they've mutually agreed to part ways and that they thanked Babcock for his professionalism and for the hard work that he did, like leading up to preparing for the season. It's like, now imagine you're a young player on that team and this guy just like basically invaded your privacy, which is, that's what it is.
It'd almost be like he walked into your house and just started going through your
rooting through
drawers and your closets. And
Yeah, exactly.
And I
right?
mean, who hasn't? But you don't do that to coworkers, right, fellas?
Yeah.
You do it to friends.
Anymore. You know, I stopped too.
Never would go into anybody's closet. Never.
Right. So anyways, yeah, so that's the statement. And I just thought that was funny because I'm like, you know, if you're a young player and they're thanking him for his hard work and you're like, well, this dude just like, you know, he's kind of a jerk to me and you're going to thank him and you're my GM, you're my, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a gross one.
I thought that was a bad way to handle that. So
that's bad on like 12 different levels of bad.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So anyway, I tried to run through it quick, but you can Google that. It's an interesting story. Johan Franzen, Chris Chelios, Jason Spezza, they've all got their own stories with him too, and they're all interesting. But he's definitely some sociopath kind of stuff there. But so yeah, ha ha ha, that's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you say, Cam. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to see what's going on. People got their. I know maybe people would disagree with me, but you know, I see people if they get their curtains open, I'm not looking in there.
No,
you know, if you're going to go to the zoo, don't be surprised when you see the animals.
Yeah, Gary. Look at that. What are you talking about, man bun? Quiet.
Gary and Maddox have the same haircut going here. It's quite the. Finally convinced him to get a cut. He went in to see Denver, took off 1 inch, just like this.
Well, you know what? As long as he can have it, he might as well enjoy it because it may not be there forever.
Well, man, Jeremy get a kick out of this because basically, Jay, he slicks it back and what he's rocking is the Zegras.
Okay,
that's what the haircut is. He wanted the Trevor Zegras. That's what he wanted.
It's the flow, right? Like that's what it's all about, this flow now, right?
Funny.
I was at the kids cross country event today and tons of little kids there. There was like, I couldn't even count how many mullets I saw.
Oh, the
huge mullets.
Yeah. Katie's mother was here. Her cousin Sean was here, and Sean we had in the podcast. He normally had really short hair, and then like last winter, he's like, I want to grow a mullet, and I'm like, really? He goes, oh yeah, and I mean his mullet was like a Yager mullet from like the 90s. It was impressive. Like he did the sides all up, and then he showed up yesterday because he went to do training for or testing for the fireman. He was looking to do a fireman's course. His hair is like buzzed right off, and I was like, holy dying. Like when you go from the mullet to like having like a buzz cut, it's like that's a shocking comparison.
Jace and Parker, so like Phil and Andrew's little guy and Trina's little guy, they're rocking mullets right now. But as a high school teacher, I see the pattern. This is what happens. So like, Gary, you're not wrong. So like every third elementary school boy has the mullet, right?
Yeah.
But last year, half the hockey boys in high school were rocking the mullets.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they're all gone, but the little kids are all doing it because the boys were doing it last year. Like, all the kids I look up to had a mullet last year. Right? Like, it's very, yeah.
Well, and it all comes back in cycles. Like I said, look at the 90s when we were watching hockey. Like, how many guys did not have a mullet? It was rare that a guy didn't have one. Then they got all the hairs. Yeah, well, Yager was like...
he held out there for quite a while. But
yeah, he was a little past it. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up...
the Eye of Frady skullet.
Once again, I was waiting to bring him up.
Kelly Rudy.
The most beautiful man in hockey history, Eye of Frady. What a haircut. What a haircut that guy.
What a slap shot.
Listen.
Oh, man.
Listen, Laney McDonald rocked a mustache.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not the authority on current trends. I know that.
Huh.
I know that.
What
about you, Cam?
Never.
No.
Look,
What about
see
you,
this?
Cam?
I don't think I gotta worry about it, boys.
What about you, Cam? All right. We have So, Jeremy, I think it was you that posted Bush Topics.
It was.
Oh, really?
There,
Good to know.
There
Good
is
job
like,
interacting.
man, there's like 20 questions on
There's
there.
a lot.
Really?
It'll be the rest of the episode.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I gotta go find them so I can do my 2-second preparation as always.
No preps. No preps. The best prep.
I gotta say,
so
there's.
We're gonna jump right into her, or what?
Yeah, we'll leave. We'll.
Pitter patter. Let's get at her.
There you go.
I watched Shorzy not that long ago.
What I told Dad, what an aqua dump was, he'd have lost his mind.
Quit taking your Accutane rage out on me. Quit telling this terrible.
Oh man, yeah, we can't even quote half those.
No, not even
Shut
half.
up and sit down, Clearasil, when I want to get ground. All right,
There's
insert
some
music
wild
here.
There's some
Yes.
wild questions?
There's some good ones. There's some really
Okay.
good ones.
All right.
Jillian wants to know
Uh-oh.
who was your favorite BLW character and why was it the TA?
Because the TA was the only person that could do a Hurricane Rana.
Can
you go.
confirm.
And
There
she
you go.
was the only one that could skin the cat.
Yes. Also, none of us were going to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah. Can you see me? I would have got over
Heck
the
no.
top and just into the ground, like as I always did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurricane Rana, skin the cat, and that little half tilt the world DDT, that little swinging thing. Yeah.
Well,
For
and
sure.
she did swing a mean clipboard.
I don't know. She managed me, so I cannot confirm the clipboard thing. You'd have to.
The janitor would know.
There you go.
The professor versus the janitor.
I'm telling you,
No.
we got to get those tapes digitized, and it'll be a bonus thing.
No.
Yes, we got to do it. We've made so many references to this. And like people are like, I've never seen this. I don't know what.
It's so
Like,
bad.
Cam's gonna go literally make it right now.
Like, Jeremy.
Oh,
I
boy.
don't. Oh, gosh.
What is that thing?
He better hope that's the right DVD.
This gentleman was the only copy that has ever been digitized of All of Us Wrestling.
Is that all of them? Because there was like a bunch of tapes. Is that the first one?
That's probably the one in the ring.
Actually, this is
Little
the backyard, I believe.
Oh, the OG.
And one
The
in the
OG.
ring. Gary's the only one that used to have the other one, the one where the last one where he was, where we had the ring in up in the.
Yeah,
that one.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
There's 5 or 6 tapes, though.
Oh yeah.
Do you still have them?
Who knows? There was the one, Gary was
La
away to
Femme Nikita.
university, and we were in front of Dad's shed. So it's actually just 3 of us.
Isn't there one of also just you and Cam?
That was the original.
That's the original that we just beat the living crap out of each other outside for some reason.
And Tyson broke his belt that night.
Yeah.
No,
That wasn't that night?
no.
Oh,
That's
I know
another one.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, man, there's a lot of these.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a real wrestling belt like you see behind me outside, and it was like the fake winner after we beat the crap out of each other because me and Cameron literally played rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to win.
Yep.
But it was frost outside and it was fall, and then when we pick up the belt, the strap had frozen and just snapped.
And you
It's like,
can
what's
hear
that
it.
noise? You can hear it.
You can hear it, and then you see Tyson look at the belt, and he just stares at it. And it's like, you can see the look. He's like,
See the tears freezing in his eyes.
It's like, yeah, I won. Oh, I broke my
he's like, yeah, and he went and he picked up the snap. He goes,
Because then we upgraded to, of all things, a tarp.
that was a terrible idea.
A blue tarp. Well, it wasn't bad till Dad sprayed soap all over it. Then
Yes.
it got a little questionable.
I wasn't there for that one. I don't think.
No, I don't think you were
I don't
either.
think
Because there
I
was
was.
one, there was like a youth pool party and we wrestled in the backyard. There was a youth thing at the church and we wrestled in the church's backyard.
Yeah.
That was me. That's where Jeremy hurt you.
We did 2 or 3 premium live events from the backyard and just filmed it.
Yep.
Gary. Oh, look, he's back.
Oh, and then one of them, we do like a promo, and Gary comes flying up Country Club Avenue and like peels into the driveway with this incredible
Hyundai.
It's like this amazing squeal. He did the perfect squeal. It picks it up perfectly on camera. And then he like jumps out of the car, and I think he like beats, because it wasn't me and you, Cam. We were like beating up Leroy. Is that what it was?
Yes.
And then it
Do you know why?
No, I don't remember why.
Do you remember why? Because this is how big of morons we were.
And still are.
For the good of the storyline, Leroy can't be in the main event anymore because Zayo dislocated Kobe's shoulder. And for people at home, Colby and Leroy are the same guy, just dressed differently because we only had the 4 of us.
Which is Tyson.
And then I'm on my way. So like they beat me up in the driveway so I could go to the hospital so that they could keep recording without me. Because I got to go, and then I come back in a sling like, yeah, my shoulder's out.
Yep. I remember
but
all
it
that
stayed
now.
out for like 12 years. Yeah. Be Miramichi Region 7 Hospital, Horizon Network.
Oh boy.
Back then it wasn't.
No, it wasn't back then. That's fair. That's true. It wasn't back then.
Sorry, Jillian, but my favorite was the janitor.
He's a man.
I am invincible.
The walk.
Yeah, so then
I just remember the walk.
We upgraded to the blue tarp. And then actually at one point we actually had quite the setup for still not having a ring.
Yeah.
Because we had the blue tarp that was kind of our inbounds, and then we had caution tape all around the blue tarp. And that's just so people know, that's where our colors come from. Is all the black and yellow caution tape, and then we had black and yellow signs, and we had blue barrels with the black and yellow logo on it, and our plexiglass belt.
Yep. Yeah.
Still looks good. It aged well.
It's not great, buddy. It's here. It's not. It seemed better, and then we eventually progressed to like we were talking to some indie wrestlers who actually were trained because we were not, and I was like, yeah. I remember telling Jeremy one day because he was living with Nathan, like, yeah, me and Cameron bought a ring.
Yep.
And I got the call of, hey, Cam, what? We got a ring. I'm like,
and Trent drove me to get it. He just got the truck. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Went and drove to Nova Scotia. Picked up a wrestling ring, drove back.
Yeah, because they had a float, didn't they? Didn't you bring a float down? And
broke it the first night we had it.
Mm-hmm.
Bent the post.
Yeah, post just caved in like that.
Yeah.
Second, you bounced off the ropes a couple times. Yeah.
I'm
and
sure,
we wrestled in that a couple times and called her a career after Gary broke my nose. So
you took one. You took all of them for the team.
that one was funny.
Yeah, that
was one.
funny.
I even know when he did it, it hurt. But I didn't think it was broken. And then months later, like 6 months later, like my throat is so sore.
But we have the actual picture of the lid before, and then we have the one of the lid after.
Well, because someone took a picture of him and he's midair about to land on the back of my head. Like, it's like the perfect picture. We'll have to post that one so people know. But I'm at the doctor's office because he thinks I'm going to have my tonsils out. And then he goes, yeah, no, we could fix your nose too at the same time. And I'm sitting there oblivious like an idiot. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, when did you break your nose? And I said, well, I didn't break my nose. He said, okay. True. And like someone, like you could tell, like seasoned doctor, he's done this before, right? I'm like, I didn't break my nose. He said, okay. When did you, he goes, when did you start snoring? I said, about 6 months ago. He said, right on. What did you do 6 months ago? And I sat there and thought, and I'm like, Gary.
That's so funny. Didn't you actually say it out loud too? Didn't you say
I did, yeah.
But truth be told, he did the same thing when your shoulder was out when he had to put it back in. His exact words were, Jeremy.
You know, in like 40-Year-Old Virgin where he yells Kelly Clarkson. Jeremy Bourque. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had a deviated septum because it had broken in there. And it's like, what?
Gary laughing. You're heartless, sir. Heartless.
Just all in fun.
I think you were Clifford too. That's the thing.
He was.
I'm 90% sure you were Clifford. I had avoided Clifford right up until that night.
Yes.
You fed the janitor to him pretty quick.
Yes, we did. Well, people at home don't get it, but when Gary played the character called Clifford, he was pretty stinking violent. Man,
Tyson's still
you'd have to know that, like,
Tyson's still just.
just paintbrushing Cameron across the back of the head. You're gonna remember my name.
It was like
there was a few bad words said when he after about the third hit.
the first time he was Clifford, it was like when he was out of earshot. It's like, so Gary, like really like hits you, huh?
But Gary was also the only one that like Gary, I'm giving you credit here because here's the thing. The whole BLW thing, like guys, it was fake. Do you know what I mean?
No, it wasn't. Not with Gary.
Well, no, hear me out, Cameron, because this is my point. I would stick to it to a T that, no. I might be sore now, but we talked about this in the basement, so I got to stick to the whole. No, I don't. No, I don't.
We talked about
Do you know what I mean? So, like, I did like a false finish thing on Gary, and I kicked him pretty good, like harder than I meant to. And then a full 5 minutes later, the whole thing's supposed to be over. I'm supposed to win it. I'm supposed to kick Gary, air quotes, not hit him hard, in the back of the head. Gary just ducks and whispers to me, yeah, I'm not taking that. and in reality, I think back now, like, good for Gary, but I'm laying there like, so what do we do? What do we do? Like, we don't have to do anything. No one's here. It's just us in a camcorder. I can get up and walk away. Like, we don't need to do any of this. Like, why am I laying there panicking?
We were like, may as well have been on Monday Night Raw. We were just like, you can't let the fans down.
Yeah, but at least 3 people are going to see this tape. We planned this out.
Like, my mom's going to know what happened.
I beg to differ more than 3.
No.
So if anybody wants a copy, I'm selling them for $10.99.
So that's all?
A piece.
Buddy, if you're putting me out there, it's $99 or nothing. That doesn't even fill your tank right now. So in line with all of this, my mother, Sherry, wants to know, how much actual stuff got destroyed at Sherry's house besides cookie sheets?
Okay, we're gonna start the list.
Careful,
right.
Cameron.
Yeah, I know. All right, so we're gonna go with the light.
Yes.
We're gonna go with the wall.
Yeah. Through a wall. Yeah.
Through a wall.
We fixed it.
We fixed it. Well, Dougie fixed the light.
Fixed it.
Dougie fixed it. We broke a couch, which was the same night.
Yep. Like
a
dozen cookie sheets. I know she said besides cookie sheets, but just nailing each other.
Yeah, it was a lot of cookie sheets.
A patio table.
Correct. Yes. Lattice work. Don't forget the lattice.
Broke some lattice. Yeah, put Cameron through that patio table. Yeah.
Yeah. What else was
there? A patio chair. Do you remember that thing just disintegrated?
That hurt. What else?
Wow. Yeah.
I think we broke a door in your bedroom one time.
Yep.
Yeah, broke a door. Sherry, the statute of limitation is long since passed. Like, it happened. We were younger.
We bent a frying pan. Do you remember that?
That sounds familiar.
I have a scar on the back of my elbow.
Gary?
That's also, yeah, but it was one of those deals like, it's just so people know, by the time we wrestled or did anything like this with each other in the backyard, it's probably dark and we had some lights. Yeah. So I remember at one point, the 4 of us are all wrestling and I'm kind of thinking to myself like, man, some of this stuff is getting like really slippery. You know what I mean? And so what had happened was Gary hit me with a pan and then he went to do it again and I turtled and I covered, right? I put my hands up. And I didn't think, like, it hurt, but I didn't think anything of it. We kept on going. And then, like, a few minutes later, it's like, everything's getting, like, really slippery. Like, everything's getting... So then we're all done. We walk inside. And I think it was Cameron that looks at me and goes, Tyson? I'm like, yeah, what? He's like, and I kind of looked at myself and realized there's blood everywhere.
You're bleeding.
Like and it wasn't much of a scar. Like it wasn't, but it was just.
But his
and
whole
it must
arm,
have been on. It's
like
so
your
gross,
whole
guys.
arm was like covered.
Oh, just from one like little 1-inch gash on my elbow. It was just everywhere. Like,
And
But
at the
Sherry,
time,
other than that, we didn't break anything that I can remember. But I have a terrible memory. So.
No. Patio
Well,
chair,
not wrestling
table,
room.
your son.
well,
Pat,
What
don't
about-
forget the screen door. I took the screen door off one night.
I was just gonna say you walked through the screen door.
forgot about that.
Wow.
What about all those pieces of press board? They were
Yeah, that
like
doesn't
brand
count.
new.
Yeah,
Were
that
those
doesn't count.
Dave's? I don't even know where those came from.
Yeah,
You
those-
just broke.
We started
brought
rating
some of them.
Dad's, and then we'd honestly go to McCullum's. This is how genius we were. Work all week at part-time jobs, and then go to McCullum's and buy sheets of chipboard so we can put ourselves through it.
Which at the time was a very what we thought was expensive, but now we see way was not.
Oh, to go back when it was $8 a sheet would be a.
Yeah. A drywall too. I don't know where that came from. I don't remember
Like
where.
Okay.
I brought a lot of the
Did you?
Gyprock.
The Gyprock strips hurt.
Those were the worst. That's
Phil and
like
Trent
a
made fun
whip.
of that, and then Trent
Yeah.
hit Phil across the back of the legs one night because it's Gyprock. It breaks, and he's like, "Yeah, never again. You guys
Oh,
are
man.
nuts."
It's
I
on
could still
one of those
feel that
videos.
across
It's
my
on
back.
one of those videos. I said the same thing. I was like, no way, it can't hurt that bad. And there's one of those hardcore matches where I think you broke it across my back, and you could hear me go, ah! And it's not it's not a fake.
It was one of the first ones we had it. I remember I had the Gyprock like way out here in this
Yeah.
arm, and I was laying on
Yeah.
the ground and did the full over body thing
That
with
was me.
it.
You could see it wrap around me, and I like,
It doesn't feel like a board or anything. It feels like a leather strap.
Yeah,
Like
it's stinging. It's very stinging.
Whips.
Yeah.
Well,
we should
remember
do that again, boys. I love Cameron no
Or we could
selling
just
it.
watch
Too
it.
tired.
Too tired to care.
Too tired to care.
I'm sure
I'm an
everyone's
old man. I can't take it anymore.
Oh man, we got a lot of questions here, guys.
Oh, you bring up BLW in there. That's it.
We're done.
Yep.
There's a lot of questions here. I mean, actually, like if we're going to stay in line with this, Terry Matchett wants to know who we consider the greatest wrestler of all time.
Ooh, are we talking?
that's I'm gonna go with the greatest technical wrestler, Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
You can't pick one because it's the same argument as always. Every generation had a certain person that was the best at the time. Superstar Billy Graham was huge. Then Dusty Rhodes, then Ric Flair, and you just work your way up the chain. Terry Funk was in there. Dory Funk. Keiji Muta was in there. Like Chono was in there. Do you know what I mean? Like you could just start going up through like
Mae Young.
Mae Young, you know.
Cameron is
Yeah,
absolutely
but
right.
It just depends who, you know.
He's absolutely right. But there is an answer, and it's Bret Hart or Chris Jericho.
Yeah, why is he
no.
frozen? No, we
That's
lost
really
him.
funny.
Shows he's recording, and I bet he's like still talking, going,
Yeah.
"What? You guys can't hear me?" Yeah, I never understand why it does this. Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
There you
he's
go,
back.
buddy.
Who?
He's back. You were gone.
You.
You were gone for like you were gone for like a minute.
I
Very
was
nice,
watching you guys the whole time, so I'm just oblivious to whatever. Okay.
Oh. It's all
Okay.
good.
Mine was the Red Rooster.
He was a great technical wrestler.
Red
Underrated.
Yep.
Haystacks. But really, it's really your favorite. The best wrestler is going to be the person that you always looked out and looked
Dink and
after,
Doink?
like Dink and Doink. I have to say, for me, it's a couple of people. I can't just say one. For me, it's Bret Hart. I was a Foley fan. I was a huge Japanese fan, so it was like Muta was also really awesome. Like I just loved and Juice and Liger. So for me, there's a lot of different guys you could pick from. So I can't pick one.
CM Punk. Next question.
Best wrestler of all time. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're talking
It's
about
Shane
best.
McMahon, Gary. It's Shane McMahon. Top 5, Ric Flair, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, and I hate to say it, but you have to acknowledge it, John Cena.
Fair enough.
Done. All right. Amanda wants to know, what is the weirdest thing to say to someone you just met?
Well, that's easy to remember because it's anytime I just meet anybody, I say something weird. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, Jim. I have a J in my name, too. Isn't
My
that
name's
cool?
Bourque, too.
Yeah, my name's
right?
Bourque too. That's what I
Right?
was thinking.
That's where I'm going with this. Is like,
Some guy
I
bumps
don't
into,
know.
hey, watch it, buddy. Thanks for coming, man.
yeah. My instinct is to point out something that's like common. It's like, hey, I like hats too. I have a hat on. You have a hat on. What's your favorite hat? You know. Yeah, that's
I honestly,
One of my favorite Jeremy moments, he might not even remember. But at mine and Amanda's wedding, you got to understand, like, poor Jeremy's actually somewhat related to almost everybody there. So Jeremy introduces himself, the young single Jeremy introduces himself to this girl as, hi, I'm Jeremy. And she says, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm your cousin. Jeremy says, of course you are. It's like, dude, everybody here is your cousin.
remember that. Yeah, it was a strange time.
Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm your cousin. Of course you are.
wow.
I was at something once and I started talking to a guy and I don't remember how, but we started talking about national anthems. And I started recollecting every time that somebody had screwed up singing a national anthem. And after about 15 minutes of talking about this, they say somebody comes up to him and says, "Okay, bud, time for you to come up and sing "O Canada."
No way.
You just freaked this guy out for like 10 minutes.
He didn't say anything the whole time about it.
He's going through the song.
You're having a full-on conversation with someone who has to go sing "O Canada" and you don't know it, and you're talking about all the times people have screwed up.
I brought up everything I could remember of any time somebody had ever screwed up a national anthem for a solid 15 minutes.
That's the best moment ever. Hey, you're on. See him going, okay.
Oh my Lord.
I don't know what to say to that.
That's like a scene from a movie. That one.
wow.
That's a,
Yep.
Oh, man.
100%. I don't think I have anything like that. I think I'm just awkward at any time. So I don't know. I never had. I don't know. Yeah. Gary, that takes the cake, bud. I'll put the crown on you, Your Highness.
weirdest thing to say to someone you just meet. Can I see your phone?
I want to see what kind of person you are.
Wow. Man, that's still unreal. I know, like, we don't. Anyway, that just blows my mind. Katie wants to know, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Whew. Good question.
I don't know. I believe the words are "Don't trust Gary." That did come into mind one time.
It's wise.
No, Gary. I don't know. Has anybody had something that they can always like
Take it to
rely
the
on?
bank?
Yeah, like
If you're driving at night and you're really tired, keep down in the water. As long as you have to pee, you won't fall asleep.
valid.
Keep a Tim Hortons cup nearby.
Oh, gosh.
Extra large.
Oh, boy.
We're not stopping.
Yep.
I don't.
The only
Well.
advice I remember getting was a high school math teacher. told us, and the advice he gave us on when we were leaving school, grin and bear it.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
That was his life advice.
And you've been laughing through life ever since.
Grin and bear it.
I very specifically remember one from my early 20s that it's not even that funny, but I've never not thought about it during different times of a. So when we were getting ready, you guys were all involved in this somehow, but remember we were getting ready for Miramichi Fire, right? We were trying to do that.
Oh, yes.
And we needed to get sponsors to pay for the thing, and me and Trent went in and talked to Thomas Linkletter. So we're in the. I'll give him full credit for this. So we're in his office at Home Hardware at the time upstairs. And he kind of stopped and froze, and he was busy. And he said, just to be clear, you boys play pretty much every weekend? And we said, yeah. He said, boys, that's awesome. And you both go to school? And we said, yep. And you both have jobs too? And we said, yep. He said, boys, I just think that's great. You know, if you want anything done, you got to ask someone that's already busy, because anyone who's not busy aren't busy by choice. And that's the line he said, and then gave us what we wanted so we could have the... But that always stuck with me. Like, it's anyone who's not really busy isn't busy by choice.
Yes.
You know, and you want something done, you got to ask someone who's already busy, and they're busy, but they'll find a way to get it done.
Man. I wish I had something profound, but I don't. I don't have anything. I don't remember anything anybody's told me, but anything. I can't think of it. Can't think of it.
Maybe Dad, when I started learning how to drive, it's like, yeah, the road's that way.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot. There hasn't been I remember that specifically. And Dad always instilled in us kind of like, don't pay anyone to fix something you could have fixed yourself. Like, save your money. And that's always stuck with me, almost to a fault.
I can really
define fix.
Yeah,
it's working.
Yeah. I've done a few of those. How'd you get that fixed? Don't ask. It's working. We're good.
Too funny.
Hasn't burnt down yet.
You asked me. Good advice that was always given to me. You tell me, what is it? How does that go? I can't even remember now. My brain just went shorted out again. Word of advice that never can be remembered. My brain is always wrong.
Let us know when you figure it out at 3:00 in the morning. We'll fire up the podcast.
I will stay up all night. Yeah, next week I'll be like, I remember that now.
Melissa wants to know, if you had to get rid of one movie in a series, which one and why?
Fast 5.
What?
5?
Actually, it would have been Tokyo Drift, actually.
Yeah.
Hey.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, but listen, hear me out on Tokyo Drift.
I like it.
No, but listen, it is the odd one out, but don't tell me that was not the best soundtrack out of all of them.
Oh, 100%.
That's the song people still play is from Tokyo Drift, but it's the movie they ignore.
I liked Tokyo Drift, actually.
Phantom Menace, Cameron. If I could just pretend that never happened.
How about the first 6?
6? What? You want to get rid of the originals? No. The first 3. Yeah, never mind. First 3 I meant. The first 3, get rid of them. First 3. You were with me. I think you were with me for the first one at the Vogue. We were, and in the middle of the race scene, they had to stop it because they only had one projector, and I was they had to switch reels. So right in the middle of the pod race, the only cool scene in the entire thing besides the fight, the tape just lets go, and they have to give us a timeout while they switch reels.
They're like, yeah, this is an intermission. We have to switch machines, and I'm like, what? As Tyson,
during the pod race.
Do you remember when I said Tyson? It stopped. I go, what? Right out loud, the whole place.
That was like a Gary, you greedy bunch of moment. You know what I mean? Cameron just out loud, like, what? Right in the middle of the pod race.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, those were. Oh my gosh, yeah, but that could Jar Jar Binks were in that one. That's another whole conversation. Fast Five, eh? That's very specific. You were pretty quick with that one. Wow.
Yeah.
Chris wants to know: would you rather only drive a motorcycle around for a year or a minibus?
Bus every time.
Bus.
I feel safe in a bus.
Bus.
I don't have a need for speed.
All right, Gary, here we go, motorbike boy.
No, it's a bus.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what you could do with a bus? You could take the seats out. You could leave the seats in. You could put a barbecue with a stovepipe in that bad boy. There's lots of things you could do.
Yeah, wait. Are we talking like a bus, like as in like an actual big, huge
No, it's a minibus.
bus?
It's like a short bus, a minibus.
Oh, or are we talking like a Japanese minibus?
Now you're off in the hole. We said we'd get rid of Tokyo Drift already. Don't do that. Heather wants to know, if you could pick a new career, what would it be?
Space cowboy.
Monza.
Well, if he's going to be the space cowboy, I guess I'd have to be the gangster of love.
Actually, when I was younger, I always thought I wanted to get my degree in aeronautics, believe it or not.
I did not know that. I'd never heard that before.
Wow. Yep. Aerodynamics. That would have been something I thought would have been really cool.
You could have been Adrian Newey.
No.
If anything, Cameron's more of a helmet Marco. Tell us how you really feel about South Americans, Cameron.
Yikes.
That's another one we haven't. Oh my gosh.
No.
That's not even funny. Don't unpack that one.
Yeah.
No, we're
People
not
can look
unpacking
that one up too, but I cannot believe there hasn't even so much as really been an apology. It's just like, wow. Oh gosh, I don't know. I flirted with the idea and bailed on it when I was like 19 of like switching degrees and everything and doing communications because I thought it would have been amazing to be like a sportscaster of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But it's not a sure thing that you get in, right? Like it's
kind of you had to be an ex-player. Those guys seem to get those jobs.
Well, yeah, but then there's guys like Elliot Friedman who was just writing articles online and just stuck with it. Next thing you know, he's on radio, and next thing you know, he's a panelist on Hockey Night in Canada, and he
went the journalist path, and
Murray
went
Walker.
that route.
He wasn't a racer.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I wanted to be Matlock.
Is that where we're going? Because I wanted to be the Green Ranger. So
I was all in, and then I realized lawyers were more just about reading and writing
than solving crimes.
Instead of looking good in a suit.
So I would be a TV lawyer.
TV lawyer. All right. Got me with that one.
Yeah. I was originally wanted to be a recording engineer in a big studio.
Yeah.
But I was young and really stupid, and I didn't do any kind of market research at all. So I went to school and spent a bunch of money and was like, I guess you got to like move to big cities to do that, huh? So
yeah,
not doing that.
Let's drive a truck.
Yep. That's what happened.
We got a couple more here that, oh gosh, I'm scared of this one. Gary, make sure you thank Heather for us on this one. This would be a...
Oh, Gary.
If you had a Who Knows Your Wife Best contest, who would win?
Well,
all right. I think
if Felicia was here, she would say me without a doubt. Just saying, you know?
Not me.
We're so close.
My wife says I don't listen. At least I think that's what she said. I'm not really sure.
I'm out.
Cameron is out because we played a game one night.
No. No.
Yes, we did.
No. You zip it. Zip it.
Well, I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say. So but we had to answer questions. It was like this whole, like, how well do you know or how well do you remember? And then Cameron starts getting questions wrong about him and Katie. And then I start chiming in with Katie's answers. Like, I know. So I'm saying, here's poor Cameron. That probably made it that I made things worse for him because it's like Cameron doesn't know, but I know Amanda's and Katie's. Like, I'm listening to talk.
Well, thank goodness one of us did.
I think that means you win, Tyson.
Yeah, you win.
Yes. Yes.
Winner.
Gosh.
Fatality.
Flawless victory.
Gosh. Also, Heather, any random celebrity run-ins? I mean, we already relived the James LeBrie thing, so.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met anybody famous. Just stumbled upon them. Worth mentioning. Oh.
Me and Gary met the Big Show in Goldberg.
That's true.
And
Vince McMahon.
Gary? No.
Oh, well,
Gary?
yeah, no. Number one. Where's that picture, Gary?
That's probably on some 20-year-old digital camera.
Vince McMahon walked out that night, me and Gary standing there, because what was the hurry of us leaving, right? And gets in the car, not exactly keeping kayfabe at the time, hopping in with Triple H and Stephanie there in a car. And everyone wants his attention, and he's not going to sign for anybody. He's laughing. And I yell, "Hey, Vince, can I have a job?" And Vince stops. Gary's my witness for like just half a second, but to me it felt like, you know what I mean? And he just like on TV, he went, like and then just hopped in the car and drove away. So it's like, okay, well, if even for a second I made Vince McMahon laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knew he was, harassing all those women backstage at the time, but I made Vince laugh. As he was
right. I was going to say, like you said, we've already told the whole Dream Theater story. However,
gosh, it's funny. Yeah.
At when we saw them in Montreal at the Bell Center, it's sort of in that same vein of what you're talking about. I just remember because we were on the side, the John Petrucci side of the stage, and I just remember he was kind of playing, and then all of a sudden, he kind of walking around, looking around, and he looks over at our section, and like. He looks over, no one's doing anything. So I like jump to my feet. And I'm like,
you were the only one standing up, buddy.
And I was like throwing him the horns and screaming. And he just like hits a big chord and he just goes. And he slowly points at me. And I'm like, I can die right now.
Okay. The part he's not going to tell you is that I'm sitting next to Jeremy. And for the next 5 minutes while you're trying to listen to this concert you paid $100 a seat to see, Jeremy's going like, he was pointing at me, right? Was he pointing at me? That was me, right? That was me. It's like, yes, Jeremy, he pointed at you. He pointed at you. It's you, buddy. He saw you.
Yeah.
But man, I hear you. We've already been over the whole John Mayung just waved at me and I went and like bought a new bass and did all this because he waved at me. So
that's one of my favorite lines in this podcast. John Mayung,
the power of John Mayung.
I bought a 6-string bass on the way home.
Oh gosh. Katie wants to know if people came with a warning label, what would yours be?
Gary's does not play well with others.
Not the first time I've heard that. Or does not share with others.
Especially food.
Oh, heck no. I'm with Gary on that one. Back off. Get your own. Drives me crazy. Amanda will tell you, too, when she first met me. You know the whole, like, your first dating. It's like, well, do you want anything? No, I don't want anything. That's fine. I don't. And then she's taking a bite of your burger. Leave.
Yeah.
I offered you. I said I'd get you. So then I started buying 2 burgers.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you just slide it over. Like, no, like, don't.
had the same
Too
thing
funny.
when Trish and I first met, and we got McDonald's, and like I got an extra McChicken, and like I was really excited about it, and then she was kind of hungry, so she's like, "Oh, can I take a bite?" And you're like, "What are you gonna do?" Be like, "No."
Oh, heck
you know
no,
what I
you're
mean?
not saying no then.
Gary.
So,
I'm still trying to impress you.
yep. So
You
I'm
know
like,
what I mean?
"Oh,
just know,
absolutely,
like,
no
I'm
problem."
letting you do this, but I am dying inside.
Yep.
That was
Yep, and
my
then-
McChicken.
Yeah. My mind has like settled in on the amount of food I'm about to eat.
Isn't that
And
true,
it
though?
does not want to be disturbed now.
Even Jeremy, to the point of, you know you're too full.
Yes.
I should stop now, and there's nothing that shouldn't stop me right now. Like, I'm full. Yeah, but when I bought it, I had every intention of eating the poutine, the small fry that I sprinkled on top of the poutine, the double whopper, and the, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And even though I'm full, and no
Yes.
one's going to know if I didn't finish, I'll know that I didn't finish. And
Oh man.
then
If
you lay
someone
in
could
agony
tell-
for the next 2 hours.
If someone could tell me how to fix that problem, I'll live another 20 years. But
Maybe 30.
it ain't
Oh,
happening.
gosh.
I don't remember any early dating stories like that, but I would imagine it went something like, "Can I have a bite?" And I would say, "What do you got there?"
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Gary's other career would be like a hostage negotiator.
I'm gonna do it, man. Go ahead.
Smooth moves like that.
Go ahead. I gotta get home for some supper. Just wrap it up.
Cameron, what's
got
your
there?
warning label, buddy? Dairy free. Man, I can't even. All those years of making fun of you, that's karma for you, because now I can't either. Not a prayer. I had to switch to that Silk Next Milk and everything, and that
And
fixed
now
all
guess
my
what?
problems.
And now I think I probably am not anymore.
Oh, man. He
Cameron,
took my lactose
Cameron's
ability.
warning label.
My warning label?
Cameron's warning label: do not operate before noon.
That's actually, I have been told that before.
That's good. It's a good warning label then.
It is a good warning label. 100%.
I know mine would be a warning. I will not end this conversation. So if you don't end it, we're going to be here until black holes consume the universe.
Man,
sorry.
Highly caffeinated, under a lot of pressure. Careful. I will go off. It won't be good for anyone. Amanda asked, I'm very curious about this one. Would you
Okay.
rather walk around naked in public or go to jail for 1 year?
I saw that one on there earlier, and I thought the naked in public was a
Soak it in,
no-brainer.
boys.
No-brainer.
Soak it in.
Is the naked in public just a one-time thing, or is it like a
No,
whole year?
1 day. You got to walk around one
Oh,
day naked in public.
Yeah, no problem. I mean,
naked in public.
now the flip side of that is you're
but
going to
it's
go to jail for a year anyway if you do that. So, you know.
But Gary, like you were so can I add a caveat? It's February.
I'm still good.
You're silk.
Cameron, take
I go
that
to
fur coat
jail.
off. I did.
I didn't go to jail.
Hey, you got one of those bearskin tactical hoodies they always advertise on YouTube.
The tactical hoodie.
Is he wearing one of those snuggies?
It's a comfy. Thank you very
It's
much.
a comfy.
Man, you say that. I have a story about that and living in Fredericton with Nathan. Where we first got to
Speaking of naked,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's an interesting road to go, but okay.
I'm putting it out there because whatever. The statue of limitations, the sculpture of limitations. So we had just moved Fredericton, and we were in this lovely person's basement apartment. I
no.
won't say who.
Oh, no.
And well, I think we were only there like 1 or 2 nights, and then Nathan says to me, he's like, "Do you ever try sleeping naked?" And I was like, "No, not really. I mean, it's usually just my boxers on or whatever." And he's like, "Man," he's like, it's like it's so comfortable, and you feel it's very freeing. It's, feels great. And I'm like, all right, now we shared a room. We shared like his bed's on this wall, mine's on this one. And so we, I was like, and he just kind of looks at me, and like, all of a sudden the boxers come out from underneath his sheets. And I was like, all right, sure, why not? So I do the same thing, put him on the floor, and he's like, isn't that great? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty great. So we did that for a while. And then I never really thought, but there was one morning.
Yeah,
I woke up first. Where I woke up first, and he had a rough night. And I said, well, maybe we'll sleep with the boxers back on now. Hadn't even occurred to me that might happen. Yep. Story number two. Talk about February. So we had our friends Sean Smith and Tonella would come. They'd come over, and we'd hang out. They were metalheads. We liked metal and all. It's all music people. So they came over and would hang out with us. And I think it was Tonella's. She smokes, so when she would go out for a smoke, we'd just go out with her because it was like, just hang out with you.
Being polite.
Whatever.
You're just trying to be polite.
Just whatever, being polite. Yep. And I think it was, now I'm like 19, I think, at the time. And I don't even remember how it came up. I don't think it took much convincing at all, but it was just like, I wound up at the end of this lovely person's her house. I ended up it was at the far end of her lawn, buck naked, doing snow angels in the snow. It was January or February.
Which one does every other?
Yeah,
how do you get from going out to hang out with someone from a smoke to peeing in the?
Hey,
yeah,
there will be no judgment from me.
Yeah. Yeah, but in those days, nothing took any convincing at all to do anything ridiculous. But yeah.
You stayed at that place for all of about 5 days.
It wasn't much longer. It wasn't much longer, and suspicions began to kind of, rise, and the comfort level started to go down. And then me and Nathan ended up in our own apartment.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
So Cameron, speaking of public nudity, I did sound at an event this summer covering for Brian.
Okay.
And I'm setting up for this Acadian band. And Phil dropped in to help me for a sec or whatever. And we got her all done. Phil EQ'd it for me. And then they had to go to another show. And there I am. And so the band's just doing their sound check, but they haven't started yet. And who walks in but Stacy? So she was waiting for someone. I think she just met friends and had something. So Cam's sister, right?
I was just going to say, what?
But I'm too busy to go say hi. And then by the time I'm not too busy to go say hi, she's catch up with old friends. And then as I'm sitting there saying, like, do I go say hi and interrupt this conversation? That I'm realizing the last time she's seen me in person.
Yeah, wasn't Fredericton.
She saw a lot of me in person. Because I was in Dougie's car and there was a drive-by mooning involved. To which she yells, I've seen better.
She did. I was there and she yelled it, I've seen better, and I was dumbfounded.
Gosh, I was 19, 20 and just didn't care.
Hi, it's been 20 years, but how are ya?
Remember me? No, remember me now?
Yeah, sir.
Oh boy, that's good.
Oh gosh.
Yep, that's great.
Okay, but there's a lot of these. Ashley, what's the absolute best way to have potatoes?
Mashed.
And I think she just wants to hear Cameron say potatoes.
Yeah.
Deep fried.
What?
We chop them up, make fries. That's a potato.
Those are fries.
Well,
I just when you said deep fried, I'm like, so you just
I've never tried that. It might be interesting to try sometime.
Oh gosh.
That is what I thought also, that you just literally drop the whole potato
Mashed.
in a
It's
bucket
mashed.
of fat. And yeah.
It's mashed.
It's mashed.
Is
Can
there
we
any-
can
is
we
there
give an
any-
honorable mention here to scallop potatoes?
You can.
I never have them, but when I
With
do,
some
it's
nice
phenomenal.
ham.
Like it's never
So-
not good.
For whatever reason, I hated them growing up. I love them now, but yeah, it's a nice treat. But as a daily driver, mashed can't beat.
I always loved my mom's scallop potatoes, but Amanda's mashed potatoes, I have no idea how she whips those to be that smooth. It doesn't seem, the physics behind that I cannot wrap my head around as to what happened when I left and
But-
came back, and now they're that. Anyway,
You put them in the Large Hadron Collider and accelerate them toward each other.
actually, she made some today with ham and pork gravy and Cameron pork gravy. It was good, buddy. Actually, do you know what
Sounds good.
happened today? Amanda said, Mikhail refused gravy again. And he didn't put any gravy on his ham or potatoes. And Amanda finally said, you guys are recording tonight. You need to call him out. This is enough. Because Mikhail won't eat the gravy. Because we're always calling you out. So she's like, if it comes up, you need to
Mikhail.
call him out.
Listen, Mikhail, keep the faith.
If gravy
Keep the
comes
Keep
up.
the faith. You don't listen to your parents about that.
You listen to me.
I won't steer you wrong.
Oh,
I never did your
gosh.
father. Wait a minute.
So mashed with an
To me,
honorable
there's
mention
nothing
to
like a nice bowl of potato salad that's been hovered over by 200 people.
you're talking about the ever classic church reception potluck salad,
The potluck.
potato salad.
The
Man.
potluck salad.
You're just saying that. I completely get what you mean, and it's a different thing, and it's the best. Yeah, I get it.
And can I throw in
Yeah.
another, for whatever reason? Ham sandwiches at home. Nah, no thanks. Ham sandwiches at this reception, funeral,
In a
wake,
shrine.
whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top
You know what
tier.
I mean? You want a brownie? No. Where's the ham sandwiches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
The
is
best
it
ham
better?
sandwich? Because there's no crust.
I
It's
can-
a little triangle. Just amazing.
I can tell you what that is, because scientifically, the shorter the average height of the people that are preparing this stuff, the better the food is. Just saying. The lower that average gets, the better the food is. And you know what I mean?
Oh.
I'm just saying. Look around. Next time you're like, man, a lot of people are here and the food's great. Take an
Oh,
average
man,
height.
you just
You'll
gave
see
me
what I'm
that
saying.
visual like Boom Road Church basement. You look in the kitchen and there's the women, right? Including like Gary's mom with the bowls going.
Yep.
Poor Ruthie just giving her in the kitchen, getting stuff ready for this potluck. Yeah.
That's who you want working on it.
Well played.
Well, they can see the height of the ratio of bread to ham. Wow, that took a turn. This can be the last one. Well, there's more. Katie also asked, and maybe we can cut it off here. There's a lot. Oh man, they're still coming.
Really?
Tell us something we'd never guess about yourself that people just would never guess.
Gary's going through the. You can see Gary going through the filing cabinet.
I got one. I collect wrestling belts.
All right, I have
hockey
one.
jerseys.
I have one. It's weird. You boys, it's okay. So whenever I go to any yard sale, doesn't matter what yard sale it is. I don't go to very many, but when I do, I am for weird reason drawn to every sewing machine that is there. I always go. I pick them up. I look them all over. I have no idea why, but I'm like, that's a fine looking. Yeah, I have no idea how to use one, but I actually bought one years ago for my dad. I thought it was for dad, but it was a Singer, and it came in a wooden box, and I just saw it. I was like, I gotta buy that. I have no idea why. I just have this thing that when I see a sewing machine, I gotta go right to it.
How many do you have? How many?
I have none.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say I have like 9 of them.
I'm kind of relieved.
He
it's
doesn't
something
trust himself with one in his own house.
I am kind of relieved that's where you went, because I thought you were like, people don't know this, but I've never thrown out one Q-tip. I have a bag under the counter, and
they're in my closet.
What a random thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Katie, as soon as I see one, they're like, "Do you want to learn to sew?" Well, no.
I similarly, and
Maybe
you guys
you do.
would kind of know this, but maybe people wouldn't peg me as this. Like, I do collect things. That's the obvious, between hockey jerseys and signed stuff and wrestling stuff. But I've got a weird thing for old pop bottles.
Yes, you do.
And I probably have 200 like 50, 60-year-old or older. Like, I have an unopened bottle of Pepsi down here that would have been like Great Depression era.
Do you ever look at one like Cameron and go, that is a fine pop bottle?
He does. He does. He went up to my dad's camp. At my dad's camp, Dad has a whole bunch. I found a bunch in a field when I was working for the Farmers Association, and I pulled them like right, and it was in a cow path, and I was like, oh, look, there's a piece of glass there. And I pulled it out, and I'm like, look at that.
Oh,
it never was busted. I bet that's the one, because it was never busted.
He's going to get it.
Yeah. Watch this. All right, Buttercup. You have it?
Do you remember there was a bottle at your camp that I borderline begged your dad?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Found
Yeah.
one. And like, why I'm obsessed with these, I have no idea. And I don't want a bunch. I just want one. Like, I got one of the brown bottled Orange Crushes, and now I'm done. And then I move on to the next. Like Hires, the other crush.
Do you have the Sussex Ginger Ale one yet?
Yeah.
The old school?
I'm looking at in like brands that don't exist anymore. So right now, like Peerless, Royal, Chapman, Scotia, White Snow, Valley, Wilson's, Old Homestead, Crystal Springs Tonics.
Hey, it's the 5th ingredient cocaine?
In honor of Cameron, Morris, which we've never told.
Morse.
GNS, Cassidy's, Jolie.
Cassidy's, wow.
Hires, a few different Mountain Dews, including the It'll Tickle Your Innards, the Mountain Dew one. 7-Up, and then a lot of old Pepsi ones, like all different ones with. They used to not have blue, right? So I've got a green bottle here with the red and white label, like the pre-war.
Wow.
Yeah, and maybe I need a life. I don't know. I've slowed down because I was working my way through all the local companies that used to exist and then stopped, right? Because they slowly got bought out or closed.
Yeah.
And
plus, you have no more room in your basement.
I do not. One more bottle, that thing's going to come off the wall. Yeah.
See? He has bottles. I have sewing machines.
Well,
Jeremy, I know you got one.
I got some. So I have a amateur radio call sign, VE9RJB. And here's one of my radios right here, a little handy talkie. And got it right here. Also,
the guy who loves to talk to strangers is on.
I can't get enough of it. Everybody just, right? And I have this magazine. I get this magazine in the mail once a month. So, big ham radio nerd.
I did not see that one coming.
So Sunday nights is there's a bunch of nets that go on, and I'll kind of use that to go out to the store, get a few things, and I'll swing up like on Front Mountain Road, where when you come out of Magic Mountain, you're sort of up on top of the hill.
Yeah.
And I got a rig all in the car, so then I'll park up there and kind of get in on some of the nets and stuff like that. I've been to some of the meetings here in Moncton. It's a lot of it. So average age is, a little up there, but
70, 60.
yeah,
For real though.
but yeah. Oh yeah,
Wow.
no joke. Yeah, so
Never pegged you as a ham radio kind of guy.
right.
There you go.
Do you have? This is of no interest to the podcast now. Now I'm just. Do you have an FM transmitter?
Yeah, I have. Well, it's in the car, but I'm trying to think of best way to. Well, whatever.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I got to talk to you off air because I'm going to dork out here, but I'm looking to get one.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get your? Did you do the test? Do you have your license and all that?
Oh heck no!
Okay.
When people pull up to my house on Halloween, I want them to hear all the scary crap sounds in their car too. So I want to have my own.
Well,
But I'd like to just have the radio address. You know what I mean? Like tune into 94 point whatever, and they could hear the sounds from the videos that they're seeing in my windows and stuff.
Which luckily you wouldn't
Need a license
you
for
wouldn't need it.
because I'm not broadcasting more than however many feet you're allowed to. Like it's a
Yeah. Well, there's commercial things you can buy that's short enough range. Just buy it off the shelf, so there's don't need a license for it. But
random.
yeah, buddy, I'm your radio guy.
I did not
I'm your
know.
radio nerd. Yep. I don't have the tower. One day I'd love to have a place where I got the big tower that makes you look like a lunatic with the big giant antenna on it, spins
You mean
around.
My
Tyson's
father.
dad?
Yeah, my father.
Yeah, it makes you look like you
Which
believe
has the radio
aliens.
antenna on it because he was even talking to people all the way to Boston.
Yeah.
Like it was that thing travels. Like that is
Yeah. I've
That's
always wanted to ask
my
him about
grandfather
that.
had two of those in his yard. He had one beside the house, and he had an extra one hooked up, and he had another aerial inside of his roof of his house.
Yes, because of the old days, when you drive by, like you'll see those rusted towers with the beam style antennas, because that's how you got TV.
Yeah.
In the old days, and everyone had those.
Well, if you
So
wanted
everyone
more
kinda
than
had
two
a tower.
channels, that's what you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's what my grandfather did to get 3 channels.
Man, it's not untrue.
And it was when I was in college, I was taking electronics and stuff. So that all kind of went hand in hand. And someone had came through the college and put a poster on the wall with like phone numbers that you pulled off. And it was like, we've got so-and-so coming to do the exam on this particular date. And, if you study and show up and challenge, you can get your amateur radio license. So I didn't have to study a whole lot because a lot of that stuff is like what I was in college for anyway. It's all electronic stuff. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I just kind of get into it and So VE9 RJB.
Wow.
There you go.
Didn't see that one coming.
Right?
I guess there's still secrets among friends, boys. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The last guy in this group.
There's nothing interesting about me. Going back to previous episodes, I think what I do for a living is the greatest mystery.
He has seen every episode of Dawson's Creek 11 times.
Some say.
Possibly true.
Some say that he.
Some say.
I don't know. I like pandas.
You do
also
like
true.
pandas.
Yes, that is actually
I do like pandas.
That's a great little known fact about you. Yeah.
In the year of our Lord 2023, I still regularly go to the library.
Wow.
Can't blame
Really?
him. Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
'Cause books are free there.
Books are free there.
Wow.
Libraries are awesome.
But Gary,
OG
if you go
internet.
get the free ones you have to bring back, how are you going to have a subtle brag to people on your shelf about all the books you meant to read?
And they let you take a bunch out of that.
Yeah, they do.
Believe it or not, on mine with my books, I have probably read almost 3/4
Yeah.
of them. I've actually read them. Like, that's weird for me. You would think I'm the person that wouldn't, but I read 3/4 of the books I probably have here.
I used to. And now I have a stack of good intentions that just never, and it's not on purpose. I just got busier and busier and busier. And the last book I read, Cameron, and it was since we've moved in here, would have been Heroes of the Acadian Resistance, like the maritime history of.
I think the last one I read was just trying to think of the name of it.
The Bible?
No. I have not. That's been a long time. The gold. All about the Nazi gold. How the Nazis took all the gold from all over Europe and how they hid it. And how the Americans hid
there was a story last week. They found more again.
Really?
Like a truckload in this bunker, just stacked, just sitting there. Just
why is it that we can never find
just
something
gold
like that?
bars? Just the picture was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll have to look that up.
Oh, well, great. Yeah, millions of tons of gold that they hid, and they knew the Germans were the Nazis were coming in to take it. And some countries like, oh, we'll leave them here, but most of them shipped it like. Some of them shipped it, like France shipped it all the way to Africa, and then from Africa, like Algiers, and sent it all the way to Canada.
Oh, yeah, they were moving it around.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like ships were getting sunk, and trucks were getting like stuck in the mud, and they were just bailing with 3/4 of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have to remember the name. It's something gold. I can't remember, but it's a good book.
We'll have to go to Fredericton next time the podcast. We'll all go to record the podcast at the library.
Oh yeah, they'll love that. You mean chapters?
So
you're gonna get me banned from here.
Gary's like, they're not with me, but your guys are all wearing the same hat.
Taking books in and out of the bathroom, George Costanza.
This book has been marked.
Now listen, Seinfeld.
Wow.
Bookman.
Maybe that's how you get your kicks. Little boy down at the public school library, trying to learn something, flipping through pages, seeing hand-drawn pictures of pee-wees and wee-wees. I don't know, Seinfeld. Maybe that's how you get your kicks.
I brought it back.
good.
Tropic of Cancer.
But you stepped into
Or
a New York
Tropic of
public library,
Capricorn.
fella.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh.
That's so good. Wow, that's good, boys. That was a lot of revealing information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We've learned a lot.
Learned a lot
Learned
about
a
each
lot
other
today.
today. I feel like
we've grown as people, as individuals.
That's what this podcast is about.
sharing and caring,
Personal.
fellas. Sharing and caring. We're a podcast of the people, and we're here for.
For
Yeah.
the people.
We're here for a long time, not a good time.
Just don't try to play with me.
Oh, that was so chilling. That was chilling.
Yeah, that's quite the way to go out.
So, Gary, you ready for Blippi on Friday?
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Is it
We're going
Blippi
to-
or is it like one of the new Blippies?
I think it's the new Blippi, is it not?
I think we will find out when we get
Is there
there.
not like 3 different Blippies now or something?
There's at least one, and then there's another character, like I forget her name.
Mika.
Yes. So yeah, but yeah, there's another guy who's remarkably good at being the original character to the point that
You wouldn't know
my son's never even mentioned
that it's a
that
different.
they're different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I'm expecting the not the OG. He's too big now.
Not the goat.
Man, oh man! When we
So
took
much to learn
the
about.
boys are older now, but I remember taking Mikhail to Imagination Movers. That's my dream job, boys. That there is my dream. I want to be Scott from Imagination Movers.
One of the voices on Mighty Machines.
Is he?
Anyway. Oh, I don't know. It seems like he could be. Seems like he should be.
Oh, boys, that wasn't bad.
Did we get them all? We don't have yeah.
We got. If we didn't, we got 90% of them.
We'll get some of
That's
them
really
on the next
good.
one.
Yeah,
That was
sure.
a good batch of.
Pile them on.
Long as people stayed tuned after the depressing Babcock talk there at the beginning, I don't know.
Yeah, we kicked the show.
Yeah, but we're
off.
not going to. We like hockey.
Well-
we're not going to not talk about it.
Yeah,
but
but-
it's that's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
that's still
that's
so
true.
crazy. Anyway,
We're here to talk about
Yeah.
important stuff. You know, people expect that from us. They want to know. What
they
think
trust
about-
us And this post,
More than we trust the American government with an $80 million fighter jet.
that's so crazy. Why did we not talk about that? And I meant to bring it up today at school. Like they just lost it.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen it.
Well, and the
That's
best part is it's like we lost a stealth plane. It's kind of like, that's kind of what it's made to do, boys.
It's
hard to find.
So this is so just so people know, this is in the Carolinas, right?
Yes.
And then they've grounded all other Air Force because they can't find this jet. Like they've lost the jet.
So the captain or the pilot ejected, right? And then no one knows where the plane went.
It's just gone.
Because it was a stealth plane. That's what it's for.
I was just picturing these army generals walking around with a staple gun, putting up missing posters on telephone poles.
Oh, gosh, that's
Have
crazy.
you seen?
Seen my F-35?
That one's pretty crazy.
Reward $10.
They're checking marketplace. Oh man, I see on here there's an F-35 for $35 billion. So, well, it must be a different one.
No, wait. Oh, that's the Pepsi one. Never mind. That's the Harrier. Let's move on to the next
That's another
one.
whole. Oh man, I just talked about that this week with some of the kids at school, and they're like, "What do you mean? What's Pepsi points?" I was like, "Oh, guys, when we were kids, we had Pepsi points, and they had this really cool commercial that for 7 million Pepsi points, you could get a Harrier jet, and they meant it to be a joke." And then this kid in the States,
Canada,
he got 7 million Pepsi points. Where's my jet?
In Canada, we had the disclaimer. In the Americans,
didn't have the
disclaimer.
So what happened with that?
He never got anything.
He never got it. They said that it
A
was
judge basically called this ridiculous.
a joke.
Which is funny because he turned down $1 million in a settlement. But it's like, this is like a $70 million jet. And you want me to take no, I want and he just stuck. He was like a 19-year-old kid. He's like, I want my jet. Where's my jet? Well, we can give you more money. I want my jet. Where's my jet? And then they re-aired the commercial with, this is just a joke. Right? And then they upped the amount. They changed the commercial 3 times. And lawyers were all over it like, oh my gosh, guys, like that's an admission of guilt. Now you're even changing the commercial. Right?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
a judge just said, this is so ridiculous. It was obviously a joke and threw it out. Which goes against everything with fine print and disclaimers. And
so true, yeah.
And you could argue it wasn't an unreasonable amount of points if this 19-year-old kid could come up with the 7 million points.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
If you made it 70 million, good luck with that. The contest will be over before that'd take you years. Right? And it'll be, but no, they made it 7 million and the kid inside of 6 months figured it out and I can get 7 million points. Wow.
That's great.
At some point, weren't they like, well, if we actually gave you a jet, we would all be arrested for transferring military.
That was part of the theory, though, but you could there was no law, according to the White House at the time. They went that far that, I guess technically, if it wasn't weaponized, you could privately own a Harrier jet.
Yeah.
but the other side of that coin is the Harrier wasn't an American jet. It was a British jet anyway.
Which you could buy.
Wow.
It was a whole thing.
So crazy.
We're getting international law and American law and corporate law. And that was
Actually, there's a pretty cool documentary about it on Netflix.
Yes,
that's not bad.
It's
pretty good.
Where's my jet? Where's my jet?
Where's my jet? I think, it's called. Wow.
They're like, we can't give you a weaponized. And he's like, that sounds like a you problem.
And there was something to do, too. Like, Jay, just, he never did get all the points.
Well, he sent a check in for
Well, he got an investor that he met. So he used to do guides for hiking and mountain climbing and stuff. And a couple of rich guys went and they became friends, 2 of these guys. And he presented them with this idea that I have this idea to buy all this Pepsi. And the guy's like, listen, you figure it out. I'll back you. I think this is hilarious. Go get your jet, kid, right? Like, I'll help you buy the Pepsi. And then he did the math on where am I going to store this amount of Pepsi so I can claim this amount of points. And then one day he's at a grocery store and there's this big display with Cindy Crawford in front of it, the whole bit. And these Pepsi point booklets, and he picks one up. And there's a caveat in the back. Now, keep in mind what they meant this for, Jay, because the jet's not in the book, was like, I don't quite have enough points for that jean jacket. So at a cost of 25 cents a point, I can buy the rest of the points that I need to get, that Pepsi beach ball or the jean jacket or the leather bag, like duffel bag. And so then he wrote the guy wrote the check for like $234,000 with a note for 7 million points.
Yeah.
And then filled in the lines where it didn't have it. Harrier.
Harrier. And he put the little button, put a check mark in front of it.
And they sent it in. And then when it went around the office of Pepsi, like, this is a joke, right? And then they ended up, sent him a letter with like this big insulting, like, here's a gift certificate, kid, for some free Pepsi. Like,
here's for a case of Pepsi.
Yeah, and
because like how much money would he have spent?
It was like, here we go. No.
Because he would have spent how much money to get all those points too, right?
Over $200,000.
$200,000.
Yeah.
So
for a $70 million jet. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Sounds like a good
deal. A
deal.
lawyer picked up the case and everything. Like, it was a whole.
Man. I had heard about that, but I did not know all those details. That's
it's actually quite. Yeah.
It's really good.
I had heard about it before, but the documentary did a great job of and it's kind of funny. Like, it's just one of those documentaries. It's in parts, and you have like 10 moments of like, oh my gosh, like they're crazy.
Yeah. This is wild.
Yeah.
This also ties into why I don't have any books or read books, because I just listen to stuff.
Man, documentaries have gotten better. Like anyway.
Yeah.
Oh wow, big time. Like when I was younger, it was the one guy's voice who talked the whole time like this, and then Ezekiel came from the mountain.
Man, I had good intentions one time.
Was Ezekiel on the mountain?
I've gotten busier, and I haven't. Ezekiel was on the mountain. I haven't.
Zeke.
And Abraham was in the fishing boat. But I had real good intentions of like, oh my gosh, I think this year I'd like to read the whole Bible. And then like when I didn't read a couple other things, I was like, I wonder if I can download like a good audio book. Just as I drive by myself, I could listen to a little bit more and try to like do the whole Bible in order. And then the version I downloaded and I paid for, by the way, opens with Genesis. And however they mix this thing, I'm not kidding, Jay. Hit the intro. There was no voice, no nothing. All of a sudden you heard. And this guy's reading Genesis over this beat.
Like, the whole time didn't go away.
It never left. And I got 5 minutes in. I'm like, I can't do it. Can't do it. This is so distracting. I can't. And let there be light. Like, just like, what are you doing? I was like, I downloaded the raw audio version of this.
Rest.
Oh, I'll never forget.
I love that.
That's awesome.
What a brutal, like, because it sounds like he had no clue. He's just like, I don't know. I guess people like music, so just put some
but
music.
Like, why would you do that? Like, it's. I can imagine, like, when it got to Revelations, it was like. And the thunder and the. Big EDM solo comes in as the 700 beast from the
psychedelic
Stairway to Heaven starts playing in the background.
And the veil tore in Jerusalem.
Oh man!
They start talking about the walls of Jericho. All of a sudden, you hear they're stopped and dropped by the walls of Jericho.
And Joshua said, "Push me, and then just touch me until I get my satisfaction."
Oh man! I was just picturing the story about Lazarus. Undertaker's theme song comes on. Lazarus walks out of the
arms up like that. Tombstone pile drivers the guard.
And why do I picture Thomas as Paul Bearer going, oh yes!
all those letters and everything in that super high voice.
Wow. We're taking her to a new level, boys.
Oh, now I want to find a copy of that audio Bible that I had.
You should.
Oh, boys, it was like the thing is too. If I can't exaggerate enough. Like I turned it on and like you're driving and you're trying not to look, but like I'm half checking my phone. Like, is this the right?
Yeah.
Because and it was literally Jay just a straight up like.
Oh, that's so bad.
You know what I mean?
And you said you paid for this
Yeah.
thing?
I paid like $8.99 for this thing or something because I just wanted to listen to it in order.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
Why does this always the funniest stuff happen right at the end? Every time.
I don't
That's
know.
a good note to
It's
leave
That's
on.
the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, Jeremy.
My
Always leave them
brothers and
wanting.
sisters in Corey, listen to me. Let's get this super high voice.
Oh yeah!
Oh, if you could insert Undertaker's music there underneath all that.
Just certain things.
Big bell. Oh. I just want to go through the entire Bible in wrestling voices.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Oh, can't you picture it now? The book of
The Rock.
book of Psalms. Oh yeah.
Damn, it sounded like Randy Savage.
The lion will lay with the lamb. Yeah.
For some reason, I just instantly had thought in the back of my head, The Rock talking about walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Like you can just hear him.
Oh man, and then you have the whole day, on the third day, finally has come back.
And David's Bathsheba bathing on the rooftop, and he was like,
You ain't going nowhere.
Oh, wow.
and who can forget Samuel looked at all the priests after they had been praying to their gods all day, and he said,
What you gonna do when the 24-inch pythons run wild on you, brother?
Oh, I think we broke Jeremy.
"Oh,
there's so many.
It's the best thing I've ever saw."
There's so many though, Jay. Whose voice is that? You can't see me.
John Cena.
Oh, that took a turn.
That did.
Oh man, that would be an audio Bible. That would be a Randy Savage reads the Bible. Would be a.
The seventh day he rested. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
They make the Pharisees all like gold dust.
Well, if we're going that route, you do know then the Ultimate Warrior has to read the Book of Revelations. You know that, right?
1,000 lawnmowers and trampled by 100. Walk into the cockpit to see the pilots who have already made the sacrifice.
Like, what are you talking about?
Hulk Hogan. Dispense of the pilots. Hulk Hogan.
put that plane into a nosedive. Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Revelation 7. Talking about the end of the world.
Yeah.
When the world
This one might
by
need
1,000 elephants a mile.
This one might take a little editing check.
There's no more editing. This is it.
That's the only thing now.
Unfortunately,
You say it now, you're committed to it. You can add stuff, but you can't really take anything away.
Yep.
David calls in Bathsheba's husband. Yeah, you gonna pass me your salt?
And on that note, wow.
My head hurts.
Thanks for listening, everybody. And
Thanks for the great questions. That was awesome.
that was a good time. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that
Great
stuff.
question.
I notice big thank you to everybody. There's a lot more downloads happening lately. Just an abnormal amount for not having like it's like 50, 60 downloads every day. Like it's actually quite
Wonder
high.
when there's content like this. You know?
What is wrong with people? I know. With the more episodes we have, the more. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, for the support. I don't know what's happening lately, but it's been a lot. There's been quite a bit of traction lately, so we appreciate it. We don't get why you'd want to listen to us, but here we are.
Gary's just
Who's
like,
judging who?
yes.
We're judging you. Thanks,
well, if
everybody.
they're judging us, they're leaving somebody
That's
else
fair.
alone.
That's fair. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
It's been a thin slice of heaven.
Where I woke up first, and he had a rough night. And I said, well, maybe we'll sleep with the boxers back on now. Hadn't even occurred to me that might happen.
You just wasted some of your life listening to the Bush League podcast. You must stop what you're doing right now. Like and subscribe and leave a 5-star rating. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and like us on Facebook.